Hello, good evening. Welcome to Cabinet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present the headlines in the news tonight. Patriotic Front wrangles prompt tension in Parliament. OSIDA blames President Hichilema over the PF disorientation. Anthrax spreads to Lusaka province as cases reach 335 countrywide. In international news, a general strike in the occupied West Bank is being observed in protest of Israel's war on Gaza. In sports news, Copper Queens eye Olympic repeat in Paris 2024. These are more stories after this short break.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, fourth close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Hello once again, the news in detail. The Zambia police in Lusaka's Kanyama is investigating a suspected case of a missing 8-year-old girl who went missing on September 12, 2023. Zambia police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says the girl went missing on the fateful day after leaving her mother's house keys at the neighbor, saying she had gone to visit her father. Mr. Hamonga says the incident came shortly after the girl returned from a holiday at her father's place in Shimabala, Kafiwe area, which made people believe she had gone back, but investigations have proven the contrary. He says the case is still under investigations and is yet to be established as a missing persons case owing to the lack of cooperation from the girl's father's side.
The mother of Lusaka's Kanyama is grief-stricken after her 8-year-old daughter went missing mysteriously in September 2023. 23-year-old Teresa Mlunda says the daughter went missing mysteriously after she left home saying she had gone to visit her father in Kafiwe's Shimabala area.
Last month pa 11 ndipo anasukenze pa mani. Nizina naenda kumchito nimaenda kuma 15 nokumba kuma 17. So manena pena bwena peza nchimwana siyama kikudilika mzaka paneba onokare upeta aenda kuliwa dadi wake.
Speaking in an interview with Cabinet News, Ms. Mlunda however suspects the father's family over her child's disappearance.
Since napata tafufuza consequence unapata pesa kutati kulibe. So tarema kungo sakira mwana kutana na mulide usitizo mwana kwa minari but aonika munga kuliwa tete wake somewhere banamubisa mwana. So mpemba ko tandizo bebanga baone kwa tete wake bali pafupi zina yao ni gift maplanga please na papata. Bankara kushimabala ndipo mele bankara so mpemba ko tandizo.
When contacted for a comment, Zambia police spokesperson Ray Hamonga said the case is still under investigation, stating that it is a suspected case of a missing person as the father's side is not cooperating in the matter.
Now, police have issued investigations in this matter, and unfortunately, we are not getting a full cooperation from the side of the husband. Apparently, these two people are on separation. So the child went to visit the father and was brought back by the stepmother. But after that, then the child left home, and in that circumstance that I've just explained. So police were still investigating this matter, and were trying to get to have the relatives or the father side to come to police so that they can assist in the investigations. So that's where this matter is. So we cannot wholeheartedly say that this child is missing.
For Cabinet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Zambia has recorded 335 cases of anthrax, with 4 deaths since the disease broke out. On October 27, 2023, the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock announced the outbreak of anthrax in eastern, southern and western provinces. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo says the infection has now spread to Lusaka, Muchinga and northwestern provinces as of November 1, 2023. Speaking during a press conference, Ms. Masebo said southern province is topping in anthrax cases with 269 cases and 2 deaths, while eastern is coming second with 30 cases. She adds that anthrax, a disease contracted from eating or coming into contact with infected domestic and wild animals, is a serious disease and can cause death if left untreated. We apologize for lack of sound in that news clip. A teacher to a juvenile who was allegedly assaulted by the stepmother in Lusaka's Apollo area has broken down while giving a testimony about how the victim in the second week of June 2023 reported for school with a bandage on account that the stepmother cut him using a knife. Naomi Chisola, 29, of Lusaka West, testified before Magistrate Mutinta Mwenye that when she interrogated the juvenile, he revealed that the stepmother cut him with a knife. The accused stepmother to the juvenile, Longwe Ngosa, 29, is facing 1 count of assault on a child on allegations that between April 1, 2023 and July 31, 2023, assaulted the 4-year-old juvenile, thereby causing actual bodily harm. Details in the following report.
A teacher to a 4-year-old juvenile who was allegedly assaulted by the stepmother, Longwe Ngosa of Lusaka West Apollo Military Camp, could not hold her emotions as she testified how the victim was allegedly cut with a knife by the stepmother. Naomi Chisola, 29, of Lusaka West, could not help it but break down before Magistrate Mutinta Mwenya when she told the court that in the second week of June 2023, the 4-year juvenile reported for school with a bandage and wounds on the face. Teacher Chisola testified that she questioned the boy on what happened and responded that his mother cut him with a knife. In her submission, the teacher wants justice to prevail on the matter. Meanwhile, the 4-year-old victim testified before the court that the stepmother beat him on the face and on the nose and used the shamboko hosepipe and added that the knife was used to injure him. When questioned on the scars on the leg, the juvenile told the court that the accused Longwe beat him. During the court session, the juvenile was also seen with dark marks of the whip all over the body, including on the stomach and the back, which the court took note of. Longwe Ngosa made headlines in August this year when a video went viral of the juvenile in a uniform on Facebook with visible bruises, explaining what transpired. According to the police, the alleged brutal offense was allegedly committed when the father of the juvenile was on duty in Zambezi district. The 29-year accused is facing 1 count of assault of a child, contrary to the laws of Zambia. The matter continues on Wednesday, November 8, 2023. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Embattled leader of opposition in Parliament, Brian Mundubile, has sued the Registrar of Societies, Miles Sampa, and Morgan Ngona, seeking a declaration that the Opposition Patriotic Front PF Extraordinary Conference held on the 24th of October 2023 is illegal. Mr. Mundubile, in his statement of claims, indicates that the election of Miles Sampa as president and appointment of Morgan Ngona as Secretary General is null and void on grounds that the material lawmaker was expelled from the party. Among the reliefs the Mporokoso lawmaker is seeking is a consideration that the changes made to the office bearers of PF at the Registrar of Societies are null and void, and a restraining order be issued to Mr. Sampa and Mr. Ngona from occupying the position of President and Secretary General, respectively. Details in this report.
The judiciary has been put to test as the rivalry of PF camps continues to emerge after Material Member of Parliament Miles Sampa pulled what has been regarded as a quick political convention on 24th October 2023. Embattled leader of opposition in Parliament Brian Mundubile has sued the Registrar of Societies Miles Sampa and Morgan Ngona, seeking a declaration that the Opposition Patriotic Front convention held on the 24th October is illegal. Mr. Mundubile has sued Mr. Miles Sampa as the second defendant, Morgan Ngona and the Registrar of Societies as the third and fourth defendants. The petitioner is seeking a declaration that the first defendant, Raphael Nakachinda, is the duly appointed Secretary General of the Opposition Patriotic Front, not Morgan Ngona, and that Miles Sampa was expelled and is no longer a member of the party. In the statement of claims filed before the court, the Mporokoso lawmaker is also seeking a declaration that the convention or conference allegedly held on behalf of the PF, declaring Miles Sampa as elected president of the party, now and void. He also wants a declaration that all decisions, orders, statements and correspondence issued by Mr. Sampa and Mr. Ngona and the changes made to the office bearers of PF at the Registrar of Societies be now and void. Mr. Mundubile argues that the action by Mr. Sampa and Mr. Ngona violates the PF constitution, as it requires that for a general conference to be held, the Central Committee must summon such a meeting. He also argues that there was no electoral commission appointed in accordance with Article 64 and 65 of the party constitution and non-compliance with Regulation 67 and 68 of the party constitution, which requires that such a meeting be called by the Central Committee. The Mporokoso MP also seeks a restraining order for Mr. Sampa, Mr. Ngona and their affiliates to stop occupying the position of President and Secretary General of the party, respectively. The matter has been adjourned to 2nd November 2023 at 17 hours. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Our Civic Duty Association, OCIDA, has expressed concern over what it terms growing lawlessness and undemocratic practices in the country. OCIDA Chairman Emeritus Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu says the political situation linked to the ongoing efforts by President Hakainde Hichilema and his United Party for National Development UPND administration to kill the country's main opposition party, the Patriotic Front PF, is worrying and has potential to undermine democracy if left unchecked. In a statement, Archbishop Telesphore Mpundu says that OCIDA holds President Hichilema responsible for the unfolding horrific assault on the constitutional democracy. The cleric further says the lack of respect for constitutionalism was demonstrated by the decision of President Hichilema, the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, to approve the dispatch of the police officers to protect an illegal PF convention organized by Material Member of Parliament Miles Sampa. The Archbishop says his association, OCIDA, will not watch the obliteration of constitutional order by an insecure and increasingly desperate executive that has decided to manipulate and abuse state power using the advantage of incumbency. A governance expert has challenged civil society organizations claiming a shrinking democratic space in the country to provide evidence. Recently, a group of CSOs led by Chapter 1 Foundation bemoaned the shrinking democratic space in the country, highlighting arrests of opposition political party leaders, among others. Speaking during a press conference, Sikwindi Situla, however, said the move by the CSOs is baffling, urging them to use their voices wisely to avoid enjoining themselves to unsubstantiated claims of some opposition political parties. Speaking during a press conference Wednesday, Mr. Situla argued that the government is following the rule of law in its dealings and wonders what democracy means to the CSOs who are accusing it of doing otherwise. More in the following report.
23, a day after Independence Day, the Zambian Police Service forced its way into the home of Patriots for Economic Progress, PEP President Sean Tembo.
There are sessions by a group of civil society organizations, CSOs, recently claiming a shrinking democratic space in the country, have not sat well with the Lusaka-based governance expert Sikwindi Situla. Following the continued scuffle between the governing United Party for National Development, UPND, and some opposition leaders, the CSOs have accused government of undermining democratic principles in the country. Speaking during a press conference Wednesday, Mr. Situla has however challenged the CSOs to provide evidence over their claims.
Democracy means the full application of the law, unselected. And when that happens, we must all bear, this witness that our constitution is being respected and everybody else is going to be protected regardless of who they are. That is what is under pursuit in this country. And for as long as that is taking place, you can't then start saying there's a shrinking, democratic space. How? How is that so?
Mr. Situla is of the view that the failure by the CSOs to provide evidence, it may be termed that they are colluding with some opposing political parties to discredit government.
Every time you are hearing the opposition say something in that regard, it's echoed by a few civil society organizations. When these civil society organizations say something, it's echoed by the opposition. Meantime, when you check the facts, they are not there. That is where the problem is. And we want the civil society organizations to do their role and work with the government of the day. But we don't expect them to be agreeing with the government. But where they don't agree with the government, let them raise the facts as they are and spell them.
Zambia is experiencing a politically charged environment with a number of opposition leaders appearing at courts. The situation in recent days has deepened with the leadership wrangles in the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front PF, which have been blamed on government by some stakeholders. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Tension erupted in Parliament as the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti, ruled that Miles Sampa was in order to remain in Parliament despite being expelled by the Patriotic Front. On Thursday, 26 October 2023, Pambashe constituency Member of Parliament Ronald Chitotela stood on a point of order to find out why Matero constituency Member of Parliament Miles Sampa was in the House despite being expelled from the party for indiscipline. And in her ruling, the Speaker explained that the interpretation of the Constitution is a preserve of the judiciary. More in this report.
Wednesday, 1st November 2023, the Zambian Parliament was tense as the rivalry between the Patriotic Front, Edgar Lungu, and Miles Sampa camps continues to widen. Before business could commence, Luapula constituency Member of Parliament Chanda Katotowe was in a near punch-up with PF President-elect Miles Sampa. Mr. Katotowe was compelled to leave the House by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nelly Muti.
Honorable Member for Luapula, leave the House now. Turn to the left, go this way. Turn this way. Walk. Can you walk and leave the House?
Moving on, the Speaker began by rendering ruling in a matter where Pambashe constituency Member of Parliament Ronald Chitotela on the 26th of October 2023 raised the point of order challenging why Matelo constituency Member of Parliament Miles Sampa was in the House despite being expelled from the party. And in a ruling, the Speaker stressed that Mr. Sampa was in order to enjoy the benefits of a parliamentarian as the interpretation of the matter is a preserve of the court.
Here indicated by the Constitutional Court in the Chishimba Kambwili case, the interpretation of the Constitution is a function of the courts. In view of the foregoing, I do not have the jurisdiction to do that. I thank you.
But this did not sit well with PF members who continued to raise concern with Shuangandu constituency lawmaker Stephen Kampyongo and his Kamfisa constituency counterpart Christopher Kangombe challenging the decision.
Under 74(2) of the Constitution, the opposition party with the largest number of seats in the House shall elect a leader of opposition from amongst its members of the opposition party. And therefore, Madam Speaker, in line with this, on behalf of my colleagues, we have endeavored this election to give effect to that announcement you have made.
Order,
and therefore, we don't recognize it.
Order. Honorable Member for Shuangandu, please. Can you please take your seat? Reference to the matters that you earlier mentioned. You may proceed.
Well, Madam Speaker, I was basically building a point leading to my urgent matter. And like I indicated, I quoted two provisions.
Oh, I've guided, Honorable Member. Proceed and state your issue.
Madam Speaker, there's a way in which I would want to raise the point.
Honorable Member for Kamfinsa, I've guided. I have guided.
This is a democratic country, Madam Speaker. We should be allowed to speak. We should be allowed to speak. Madam Speaker, why are you preventing me from speaking? This is our country. We all belong to this country. We should be allowed to.
With the growing tension, the Speaker was forced to suspend business for 10 minutes.
Order, order, Honorable Member. Honorable Member for Kamfinsa, out. Then you leave the House. Leave the House now. The Sergeant at Arms, can you make sure that you clear the House? Clear the House. Security, please, can you help clear the House?
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
I advised earlier, can we maintain order and respect ourselves? If you want to go and fight, you can go and fight outside, not in the House. I will not allow that.
United Party for National Development, UPND National Trustee Grace Chivube has challenged NDC President Saboi Imboela to continue pushing for the resignation of Patriotic Front members of Parliament and see if she will succeed with her wishful thinking. Ms. Imboela has called on PF MPs to resign to cause collapse of Parliament after Miles Sampa assumed leadership of the party and Morgan Ngona and Robert Chabinga becoming Secretary General and Leader of Opposition in Parliament, respectively. Ms. Chivube has argued that only PF MPs who have failed to utilize CDF to work for the people would resign as per Saboi Imboela's wishful thinking. She has since expressed disappointment in Ms. Imboela for failure to appreciate free education, which is one of the major successful stories of the UPND-led government, among many other achievements.
Saboi Imboela, your statement yesterday, we watched you at a certain TV, City TV, calling MPs to resign so that we can go for early elections. Now, what I can tell you, Saboi Imboela, is this. Ichuponga chapwa bambitababuishanya abo bene Zambia. So bene Zambia bali upile PF. Ichupo chalipwa tabakabweshanye na kaidi. Sibazakabwezana futi na PF. Chupo chinasila o maleji inasila. Inasila maleji muri vonse vija vamene banaona vinalengesa kuti chikwati chizile. Chamene chinalengesa kuti chikwati chizile mu PF ni violence. The corruption, killing people, innocent people with guns. Banavi yangana vonse vama Zambians, then banaka batichikwati chasila. If you alone, as Saboi Imboela, as a woman, you can't appreciate which new dawn under Hakainde Hichilema they are doing. Let me kaya chabeni ofuna.
Kabata constituency Member of Parliament Andrew Tayengwa has castigated the Lusaka City Council's engineering and public relations departments for not supplementing government and CDF. Mr. Tayengwa says the engineering and PR departments have a duty of disseminating and monitoring CDF projects but have solely left their responsibilities to the constituencies. The Kawata lawmaker has since called for the realignment of the two departments if CDF is to have full impact on ordinary citizens. More in the following report.
On September 29, 2023, this reporter spoke to some Lusaka residents to find out how much they know about the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, and its accessibility. Those spoken to bemoaned the lack of information on empowerment schemes under CDF.
Empowerment problems in Ambilico. WTC for youth empowerment kunakuwa tukulipe. Hatutana Tapa mwanza tumosa elimu kati kunakuwa tukulipe. Sitizo kapa zilengeza nchani ka. Dentizo hapo chichonse. Tisosalira kwa zonse.
Kabwata Member of Parliament Andrew Taengwa has backed these claims, saying the Lusaka City Council is not doing its work of disseminating information about CDF and monitoring projects in Lusaka. Mr. Taengwa has since called for the realignment of the Engineering and Public Relations departments at the Lusaka City Council.
We do not have a department at Lusaka City Council that can easily disseminate this information. If the department is dead, we need someone who can start following up some of these programs, or some projects rather, so that they can disseminate some of these projects to the members of the public or to different media houses. Imagine if you as Cabinet, you were taken by Lusaka City Council to go and see what is happening in Lusaka. People will be able to appreciate. So we are calling upon Lusaka City Council to please align that department of public relations. They're not doing a good job. The other department that I feel that we need to look at is the engineering department. Most of the projects that are happening in the council, it's rare that you find council engineers to go and do some supervision. At the end of the day, some of these projects, they will be meaningless, and people will not appreciate the Conscious Development Fund.
But in defense, Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says the local authority is doing everything possible to publicize the Constituency Development Fund.
To say that Lusaka City Council do not want, or rather is adamant to publicize CDF projects, activities, I would just say that this statement is lacking accurate facts, because we are actually doing our best that we give as much information as possible to members of the public so that the people understand the guidelines of CDF, because CDF is not meant for the council itself, it is meant for the people. So for us to reach our target of ensuring that people that are eligible to apply for CDF, apply for it, we are doing our best to give as much information as possible.
Vincent Piri for Cabinet TV News, Lusaka.
Government has called for mindset change among citizens if Zambia is to achieve Vision 2030 of being a middle-income nation. Speaking during the launch of National Mindset Change campaign in Lusaka Wednesday, Acting Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, Zakaria Luhanga, notes that Zambia remains underdeveloped as its people do not realize that solutions to the problems facing the country are in their hands. National Mindset Change campaign champion Sylvia Mwansa says it is everyone's duty to inculcate principles and values that underpin national aspirations. Details in this report.
Over time, it has been realized that citizens' negative mindsets are some of the key national constraints to development and social transformation in many nations. Growth of any country's economy is only possible if citizens play their various roles and responsibilities diligently. Sylvia Mwansa of SBM Consultancy and Coaching has organized a Mindset Change campaign, which has been launched today, Wednesday, November 1st.
The stored before us is a mandate on behalf of all the citizens of this great nation to inculcate the values and principles that underpin government in the country. As enshrined in our Constitution, Section 8, sustainable government is guaranteed on the backdrop of a conscious and deliberate mindset shift towards embracing the key pillars that guide the realization of our full potential as a people and a nation. As things stand, we celebrate Zambia at 59. Zambia is a grandmother, Zambia is a grandfather. We are challenged to reflect on the journey so far as an economy and as a nation at large. Resources have been invested across the length and breadth of this country in political, social, cultural, and economic disciplines, but still we seem to be stagnant as a nation.
Speaking during the launch of the National Mindset Change campaign in Lusaka Wednesday, Acting Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Labour, Zakaria Luhanga, notes that Zambia remains underdeveloped because its people do not realize that solutions to some problems facing the country are in their hands.
To attaining the country's long-term vision of being a prosperous middle-income nation by the year 2030. These include: 1, the need to acknowledge that solutions to the challenges the country is facing are in our hands. And I want to repeat this. The need to acknowledge that solutions to the challenges the country is facing are in our hands. This means we must, through innovation and creativity, find solutions to our problems. Number 2, the recognition that to improve productivity, like building the sea, requires concerted effort. Therefore, efforts such as the launch of the Mindset Change campaign we are witnessing today are very welcome.
Ethical Institute and Leadership Academy is one among many other partners spearheading this cause.
Together with SBM, we seek to create Zambia as a beacon on the continent of Africa, holding the banner of moral and just leadership that strives to create prosperity for its people without globalization decaying its Christian tenets. Together with you, we can change our mindset. Together with you, we can build great leadership. Together with you, we can preserve our heritage as Zambians.
Vincent Piri for Community TV News, Lusaka.
We'll take our first break. Join us for more news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Lift one hand and now lift the other hand, because our man of God in a surrendered position is more dangerous than an entire army. So that I can understand that when Mary is in that crowd, part of her is crying for them to choose Jesus over Barabbas. But she doesn't understand the mystery of redemption. That Jesus did not come to the world to die a normal death. because the normal debt does not do anything for you and I.
Yes, Mulan Twilako. Oh, Mulan Twilako. Yeah.
Water is life. Each drop counts, and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
We continue with the news. Government has acknowledged that journalists and broadcasting stations in particular play an important role in information gathering and dissemination. Information and Media Minister Cornelius Mwetwa has called on the media to continue embracing ethical reporting and professionalism. Mr. Mwetwa said this in a speech read on his behalf by Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana. He acknowledged the important role played by journalists and broadcasting stations as a medium through which the most relevant information is gathered and disseminated. He made the remarks during the official opening of the Independent Broadcasting Authority IBA Capacity Building Workshop for broadcasting stations.
Journalism and broadcasting stations in particular play an important role in information gathering and dissemination, and as such must conduct their work in an ethical and professional manner at all times. I am also informed that this workshop will explore various topics such as interview techniques, and program moderation, among other topics.
Police have arrested a 72-year-old man for defiling his 4-year-old granddaughter of Chikokonto village, Chifunkomesha in Chongwe district. According to the Zambia police, on October 29, 2023, around 22:30 hours, a concerned member of the public heard the voice of a girl crying and pleading with the suspect to leave her alone. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says the victim was left in the custody of the suspect after her mother went out of town for medical attention.
Police have arrested a 70-year-old man for defiling his 4-year-old granddaughter of Chikonkoto village, Chief Komesha in Chongwe district. Brief facts of the matter are that on the 29th of October 2023, around 22:30 hours, a concerned member of the public heard a voice of a girl child crying and pleading with the suspect to leave her alone. The victim was left in the custody of the suspect after the mother went out of town for medical attention. The concerned member of the public later on decided to inform a community-based worker, Winfrida Bugali, of the same village about the incident. Together they went to the suspect's house and forced the door open. The man was found in the act while the victim was still crying. The child was later taken to Chongwe District Hospital for medical attention and thereafter to a safe house. Police visited the scene of crime and secured the place for investigations. The suspect is in police custody and he will appear in court soon.
We'll take our final break. We have international sports news after the break.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Surrendered position is more dangerous than an entire army. So that I can understand that when Mary is in that crowd, part of her is crying for them to choose Jesus over Barabbas. But she doesn't understand the mystery of redemption. That Jesus did not come to the world to die a normal death, because a normal death does not do anything for you and I.
Yes, Mulan Twilako. Oh, Mulan Twilako. Yeah, yeah.
In foreign news, there is rising anger in the occupied West Bank. A general strike is being observed in protest of Israel's war on Gaza. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
King Charles III has affirmed that there could be no excuse for the atrocities of British colonization committed against Kenyans, without, however, asking for forgiveness. King Charles was speaking in Nairobi, the Kenyan capital, on Tuesday.
The wrongdoings of the past are a cause of the greatest sorrow and the deepest regret. There were abhorrent and unjustifiable acts of violence committed against Kenyans as they waged, as you said at the United Nations, a painful struggle for independence and sovereignty. And for that, there can be no excuse. In coming back to Kenya, it matters greatly to me that I should deepen my own understanding of these wrongs, and that I meet some of those whose lives and communities were so grievously affected.
One of the deadliest episodes was the Mau Mau revolt, oppression by the British colonial power, which left more than 10,000 people dead between 1952 and 1960. Charles III had previously symbolically visited the site of the proclamation of Kenya's independence on the first day of his visit, where demands for apologies multiplied.
This hydroelectric power plant, called Hydrobox Kenya, was set up by Kenyan John Majiro, the founder of Majiro Hydroelectricity, and Hydrobox, a Belgian equity investment company. The plant now provides electricity for more than 2,000 households in Murunga County.
Right now we divert the water from the main river. That is what we have done. We call it the reservoir. And then after that, we have some gate that normally reduce the amount of the water that we are using. And then from there, from the reservoir to the canal, from the canal now to the main intake, from there to the pipe. We have a big pipe that is more than 1.5 meters, and then to the turbine.
Hydrobox is thought to be the only hydroelectric power plant in Kenya's central region. The plant uses diverted water from a nearby river to run turbines that in turn generate power.
Right now we are generating 750 kilowatts that we are supplying to our customer, that is a factory, that is tea factory, other business customer, the school, and the local customer, and we are charging them.
Power outages are common. Renewable energy, including solar as well as hydro, is more reliable, but its promise for the region still remains largely unmet. Grace Wairumi, a Muranga resident, uses hydro energy generated by the plant. This electricity from Majuro has helped us a lot, especially here at home. Firstly, we have a television that we watch, we're informed about what is happening in the news, and we charge our phones. Steve Miner, the CEO of nearby Kiriti Tea Factory, says he has seen an improvement in production since switching to hydropower.
Previously, when we had power interruption, the quality of the leaf would be compromised, and the quality of the tea would also be compromised, which would affect the price. But now we have a stable production and the stable quality, and this assures us the market for our orthodox tea.
According to the International Energy Agency, in 2021, around 600 million Africans, approximately 43% of the total African population, lacked connection to electricity.
To show you around where I am, this is the center of Ramallah. On a weekday, it should be packed. It should have several shops open. Nothing is open. The strike is actually holding. It involves government buildings, banks, cafes, restaurants, shops, as you can see. Now, why did this strike come about? It was called very early in the night, very late rather in the night, after people saw the pictures from Jalabia. They were so angry that the Palestinian Authority wasn't doing enough. The anger was actually frustrated at them. There were protests in Menara Square, and then suddenly the people called for a strike, and it's holding, but not just here, Sammy, across the occupied West Bank as well.
And Imran, it's not only Jenin that's been on the receiving end of that, right?
That's absolutely right. The new strategy coming to place after October 7th seems to be from the Israeli army to raid multiple locations multiple times. It used to be that there would be one raid and the Israeli army would be focused on that. Now it's raids across the occupied West Bank. Tulkarm was the other location that was raided. A number of Israelis went into the town. They started to fight their way in. One Palestinian man was killed in that attack, a 65-year-old man who actually had mental health issues and was just out on the street. In total, 4 Palestinians were killed, including 3 in Jenin that my colleague Charles was talking about earlier. But it's the arrest figures that keep going up almost by the hour. We're now hearing at least 50 people across the occupied West Bank have now been arrested in the last 24 hours. That puts the full figure of Palestinians in Israeli jails right now to something like 6,700. Now, 1,800 of those have been arrested since October the 7th, and also 1,800 of the 6,600 that I told you about earlier have been held without charge. They're simply under administrative detention.
In sports news tonight, the Copper Queens are set to face Ghana in the 3rd round of qualifiers for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The 2-leg fixtures, which will also feature Tunisia against Morocco, will take place between 19 and 28 February 2024, and the overall winner of this fixture will qualify for the 2024 Olympic Games. The Zambia women's national football team was the only African team to have qualified for the Olympic women's football tournament at the Tokyo 2020 Games, and they will be hoping to repeat that feat in Paris 2024. The Copper Queens have a strong squad led by experienced players such as Barbara Banda and Rachel Kundananji, among others. The Copper Queens will be confident of their chances of qualifying for the Olympics, especially with the home advantage in the 2nd leg in the 3rd round, before looking at who wins between Tunisia and Morocco for the 4th and final round fixture. The other qualification group for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games is also very competitive, with South Africa, Cameroon, Nigeria and Tanzania all vying for the spot. The last time the 2 teams met was back in 2018 at Nkoloma Stadium, where the Copper Queens came from 2 goals down to beat Ghana thanks to Rachel Kundananji's hat-trick. To end the news at Camera Television, Patriotic Front wrangles prompt tension in Parliament. Osita blames President Hichilema over the PF disorientation. Anthrax spreads to Lusaka province as cases reach 335 countrywide. In international news, a general strike in the occupied West Bank is being observed in protest of Israel's war on Gaza. And in sports news, Copper Queens eye Olympic repeat in Paris 2024. Our Camlet verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Thanks for watching Camlet Television News. Bye-bye.